Hi, and let's take a look at how to do a new project hands-on. So this project that we are looking at is a data set of 10,000 records, each representing a patient healthcare record, and this is a complete synthetic data frame. Yes, it does not really belong to a hospital, and it has been created in the lab, so as to say. So how do we start off? We start off with importing in our data. Now, since my data is on Google Drive, I have to connect my Google Drive to Colab. So I just go here and say mount the drive. And it takes a couple of minutes, but it will ask you also for some permissions and it will end up mounting the drive for you. And then I want to actually define the file path. How do I get this file path? Yeah. If you want to see it in real time, just go to this folder where all the files are. Identify your file, and over here, you can just do copy path. So we do the raw string to ensure that we don't have to make any effort to put double backslash, etc. in the path. Then getting the data frame is very easy. We just do df is equal to pd.read csv and say file path, which we have already defined. And then we want to look at the head. Now here I only want one row of the head, so I put head 1. If you leave it as head, it will show you 5 rows of data. Now, what type of data do we have? We have data related to the patient name, age, gender, blood type, medical condition, the date the patient came into the hospital, the doctor who treated him, hospital from where he was referred, insurance provider, the billing amount, room number, admission type, discharge date, and the medication and the test results. So that's quite a lot of data on each of the patients. And what we really want to do next is to understand how much is the data really, how many rows, how many columns, how many missing values, how many of them are numeric, non-numeric, and the like. So here you go. I just do df.info and I get all this info about the patient, name, age, gender, etc. You can see object is, of course, text, and age you can see is integer. Billing amount is float. These two are the ways you can come to know that these are numeric data frames. Now, what is to be noted is that admission date, discharge date, which are date objects, they have also come in as non-numeric. So it doesn't matter. We'll take care of that a bit later. And here you can see most of them have non-null, which means there's no missing value, at least nothing which is, upfront looking like a missing value to the system. This data has 10,000 rows and 15 columns, and there seem to be no missing values. So when we define the business problem, you know how to do it. We define it by first looking at the business problem. What does the data tell me is the problem I am deciding? Because business has not told me any specific problem. It hasn't said that tell me which are the variables which are driving occupancy or which are the variables which are driving billing amount. No. So I'm just assuming that the first stage of this is an exploratory data analysis to discover the Y variables, which as per me, again, through my experience, could be cost, which is the billing amount, tenure, which could be days spent in the hospital, and the admission type. These are the options which come to my mind. Now the data we already know, we've seen it in the info, is 10,000 rows and 15 columns, and there seem to be no missing value or blank values. Now, all the code that we are covering in this session, you should know by heart. Whenever you get a data set, you should be able to quickly write these down and get started. Now, what I also see here is a Sweet Viz library, which is a more recent library. It is meant for exploratory data analysis, and it quickly will churn out information about the data. Okay, so which are the columns which are numeric, what are the categories in the categorical columns, and the like. So what do we do here? It's simple, really. We start off by, sorry, the code has just gone down. Sorry. Yeah. So what do we start off by? We install SweetWiz because it's a recent library. Sometimes it doesn't come installed, especially if you've never used it in the Colab. Then you import the libraries, and then what you do is to create the analyze data frame file. Okay, we want this file as an HTML and we also want to download it just in case. So here you go. These are just 4 steps, easy to remember. Please, you must know at least this much of code. You will have to by heart at least this much of code. Okay, so here you go. You will notice that the file has come into my downloads. Okay, and what we will therefore do is just click over here and open up the file. Here you go. Now, you will notice that for each of the columns we have here, we can see what exactly is the type of data for age. Like we can see the maximum, minimum, median age and the like. We can see that females are more than males in this data. The blood types that are there, medical conditions. So each of them have been defined. Each is giving us some understanding of the values. Like here, the billing shows that it is at a maximum of nearly 50K and a minimum of 1,000, right? So these are the type of informations that SweetWiz gives us. It's a big, big plus to know SweetWiz and use it at this stage, right? So what have we done till now? We have understood our data and we have used SweetWiz to understand this data. And now we are ready to go to the actual data management part of it, the collecting and organizing part. So we'll take it from here in the next session. If you've liked this, please do subscribe and join us for the next session.